Happy New Year, everybody! Bellarosa here for another episode of My Pagan Pal Crafts and Such, the channel where you can find pagan-related crafts and such. And as some of you may know from my last video, I'm getting ready to move really soon. I'm counting down the last days here in my home, and I wanted to show you guys how I'm preparing for my new dwelling with these house blessing hanging mirrored charms. Here they are, so check it out. Start out by clearing a work surface to roll out your clay. I'm using this cutting mat I got from IKEA. You'll also need some small round mirrors, some metallic paint or paint of your choosing, and a piece of jewelry, new or old, that will act as a stamp to set our design. Check out the description box below for a full list of all the materials you'll need for this craft idea. I decided to use the medium-sized mirror since it was pretty much the same size as the little pentacle I wanted to use. I removed a few of the mirrors from the bag and then I set them aside for later use. Next, I dove straight into the clay, which turned out to be nice and soft and easy to work with. If it starts to dry before you are finished, you can dampen the clay with water to make it moldable again. Once you have a small handful, begin to press it out and roll it out to a desirable thickness. Since I want to leave an impression in my charms, I rolled out the clay pretty thick, but you can thin it out if you want to. After that, it was just a matter of gently pressing the pentacle into the clay and then plucking it out with a wooden skewer. I used the blunt end of the skewer to puncture a hole at the top where I will feed my string into once it dries. To cut it out, I used the top of a nail polish remover, and then I repeated this step until I had enough for all the rooms and entrances to my new home. To clean up my little pentacle pucks, I used clay tools to remove excess clay and to smooth out any rough edges. I also used circular motions right on my work surface to smoothen out the other side of the charm. I decided to use feathers for decorations, so before they dried completely, I punctured a hole at the bottom of each charm by using a safety pin and wiggling around a bit until it was wide enough to house the feathers. Moving on to the paint, I used metallic copper, gold, and silver to apply one layer to each charm. However, the silver metallic paint was very watery and wasn't giving the effect I wanted, so I removed it with a tissue and decided to use black paint in its place. After I painted this charm, I took some of the black paint, dabbed a bit on a tissue before quickly stippling it into the crevices of each charm and using wiping motions with a tissue to remove the excess paint and bring out the pentacle design. To concentrate the silver paint, I first applied it to a tissue and then wiped it onto the black charm until it resembled pewter. For symbolic decorations, I use mirrors to deflect negativity, crystals to ramp up the charge and effectiveness of the charms, bay leaves to ward off evil, and the sage for cleansing. I passed a white yarn through each charm to represent harmony as you walk in and out of the home, and then I simply turn the charms over and attach the mirrors with some hot glue. After I hot glued the feathers into place, it was just a matter of assembling each object to the charm one layer at a time. First the bay leaves, then the sage, and finally the crystals. Be sure to charge your new hanging charms on your altar before performing your ritual. These charms are easily personalized to your own magical needs. You can use different colored paints, a variety of different types of clay, or different herbs to adjust the potency and purpose of your charms. However you put them together, these hanging mirrored charms make it fun and simple to define and bless your sacred space. If you like what you saw here today and you want to be kept up to date on the latest episodes, then subscribe now, become a Pagan Pal, like up this video, and I'll see you next time for another episode of My Pagan Pal Crafts and Such. Bye!